Good morning. I decided to do a little short video on historic prints this morning because there was a question on one of the groups that I moderate about prints and whether they are dark on the back side and just printed on top of that, or whether they are whether they're white like most of our modern prints are. So most modern prints are pretty much really great color on one side, and then they're pretty white on the back. And that's not exactly true for all prints, but some of the historic prints are like that. I'm just going to start off with a few pieces of clothing that I have from this time frame. This is a late 1870s dress. Isn't that a lovely print? It's a nice madder brown. Now, if you look at the back side of it, you can see that it's very much a different color than the front side. So there's a good view of both sides. And this is late 1870s. That particular print was late 1870s. I'll kind of tell you what I've got dated on what as I go through. This is also late 1870s. This is actually, I believe, to be a maternity top. And you see you've got a little tiny polka dot print too. And on the white, it's a little bit darker than some of the modern prints will show. So you see a little bit more bleed through, like the printing has gone through just a little bit more, has absorbed in through the backside just a little bit more. So it's not as much of a surface print as it's a little bit deeper dye. So the backside is not as light colored as some of the other prints are. So again, this is late 1870s, early 1880s. This piece of fabric, or this bodice, is. This is one of my favorites. This is a beautiful red print. And if we look at the other side, you see how it is somewhat lighter. It's probably a resist dye with this little bitty white showing through really well like that. So the back is got pretty decent color to it, but you can still see some of the white threads showing through. So this is late 1880s. This particular piece. Here's another late 1870s. Excuse me. Allergies are acting up. So this is a purple, kind of a plum colored fabric. You see the colors in that. It's really, really pretty. But you can see how white the back side is compared to the right side of the fabric. I really like this stripe. This is late 1870s. Or it might be mid to late 1870s. This is an 1860s bonnet. See the pattern on it. And if you turn it over, you see pretty white on the back. What seems to happen is some of the fabrics that are just two color, like a resist color and then a dyed color, get a little bit darker. Reaching for another bonnet. This is an 1880s bonnet, and it's black, and you see it's just got that little bit of a brown, like a taupe color print on it, which I think is probably more of like a resist, because when you look at the back again, you see mostly black fabric and then the little bit of the light color popping through, and it pops kind of all the way through. So see if I can get the camera to focus. So there are some fabrics that when we get modern is not as, maybe they don't print the same way in modern times. Every once in a while you find a piece of fabric that seems to be printed clear through. I might have one. Let me look. So this is a modern fabric, and it's similar to some of the ones that show a little bit more bleed through on the back. So it's not as white on the back as it is. See, that's a modern fabric, but this is an older piece of modern fabric. So I'm not sure how many pieces you can still find quite like that. A few more fabrics. This is 1890s, an 1890s bonnet, and this is a woven check. And then here's an 1890s bonnet, and it's a printed check. So you can see it's printed on one side. Here's another 1890s bonnet, and that's a really fun print. But let's see if we can show you. There's the underside and the difference between the two prints. I do have a few fun little pieces of swatches here. This is a 1890s fabric. And that's the back. So again, this is probably a resist type dyeing process or printing process. This is 1890s. So there's the back of that. You can see it's pretty white. It was just printed on top. Here's an 1870s piece. It's probably late 1870s. Let's see if we can find, oh yeah, this is a fun one. This is probably 1870s. So front and the back. This is an 1860s print. Here's another piece that's 1870s, but this is a style that could also be earlier. Now see how, like, it's a resist print. So when you end up with just a little white on a dark color, a lot of times you'll have more, it's closer to being the same on both sides or the dark on the back. So you wouldn't actually like print, the printing process wouldn't actually work for like printing on the a colored pattern on the dark unless you've got some sort of resist going on that you could print on top of, like it was with this little black piece. So you see where the light colors were, the flowers on the back are showing through. So that was probably resisted and then printed over the top where the color should be. See if there's anything else really fun. Oh, this is a great little 1880s piece. And see the back, front, back. This one's 1880s, mid 1880s, front, back. So you've got definite printing on top. So that's just a little bit about how the back side of some of the fabrics would look, and a view of a few little calico prints and printed fabrics of the late 19th century. See you later. Bye.